Well, good evening from the FIU football stadium. It is halftime here at the Cage as the Jacksonville State Gamecocks lead by a score of 24-3. I am Jake Gibson. Kevin Burrell might be here later. I mean, he's known to stumble in to these halftime reports every now and then, so be on the look for that. But as I check to make sure everything is okay here, and yeah, we're good to go. All right, so let's just get right into it. It has been nothing short of a disaster for the FIU Panthers in this first half. It's been rough, but it's tough to think of like some positives that we can really take away from this game. Chase Gabriel did hit a 50-yard field goal, which was cool to see. Shout out Chase Gabriel, Paws podcast legend. But what do you want me to say? They're down 24-3. Jacksonville State's running attack has been absolutely crazy. Just look at the statistics. 176 rushing yards for Jacksonville State, 93 passing in total. 269 yards for the Gamecocks. The FIU defense, for the most part, has had no answer. 16 first downs. If you look at the first quarter stats, I want to bring this up. Let's look at FIU's first quarter stats. First quarter, specifically. They had 2 first downs, 13 rushing yards, no passing yards. So a total of 13 yards in the first quarter. Instantly down 21-0. The Gamecocks. Jacksonville State got a field goal around the end of the second quarter, so that's why the score is 24-3. But Kewan Jenkins has had like no time in the pocket. He's been pressured almost every single play. He's been sacked. How many times it says here? He's been sacked 3 times this half. And while he hasn't thrown a turnover, FIU has not committed a turnover. The play calling has not been – we don't even know how good or bad the play calling has been great because we really haven't seen these drives come into fruition because Jenkins either has to throw the ball away or take the hit. Because, once again, the offensive line is not doing him any favors. And, of course, Jacksonville State's front 7 is really, really, really good. FIU's also committed 3 penalties, totaling 30 yards given to Jacksonville State. I believe they have 4 total first downs. One of them was given to them by the refs from a roughing the passer call. There was 3 on FIU's one drive where the offense looked presentable, which ended with that 50-yard field goal by Chase. FIU at least looked competent against Sam Houston State, but against a significantly better opponent tonight in Jacksonville State, FIU is getting the brakes beaten out of them. And it's going to take a miracle of all miracles for them to get back into this game in the second half. I think it's impossible. Jacksonville State's not the kind of team to give away a lead and let up. That's why they're 6-1 or 6-2. This is a team, like we had talked about in the preview. Jacksonville State is a team that would do really good in any other Group of 5 conference. They deserve to get into a bowl game. They deserve to compete for the Conference USA Championship, but they can't do either of those things. So, I don't know if there's a whole lot to say. FIU on offenses looked bad. FIU on defenses looked bad. The special teams at least has looked all
The FIU band is under the direction of Professor Barry Bernhardt. Our color guard coordinator is Enrique Perez.
Yeah.
Our percussion coordinator is Sean.
It ain't easy, But
I
I mean, the field looks nice. The Sun Blazers design is cool. I love that the announcer is really cashing in on calling the Panthers the Sun Blazers, just like we are on the Paws Up podcast. And again, thanks to everyone who checked out the preview show. I know we had some problems on the Facebook as far as uploading the preview there. Same thing with the halftime now. So it is what it is. But while I can, let's take a look at some of the other Conference USA scores. That's sort of an update.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
The other game tonight is Sam Houston State and UTEP. Funny story in that game. UTEP apparently left their white road jerseys at where they played last week, so they couldn't bring them to this game. So both teams are wearing their colored uniforms, blue for UTEP, orange for Sam Houston. In any event, UTEP is losing to Sam Houston by a score of 7-0. That's around the end of the first quarter. And aside from that, let me look up the other games from yesterday. There were some high quality games yesterday. Okay, so it was New Mexico State beating Louisiana Tech 27-24. That was a nail biter. I thought the Aggies were going to have a bit more of a lead heading into the end of the fourth quarter, but Louisiana Tech, they stuck around, so I'll give them credit there. I'm really disappointed in Western Kentucky, who I thought was finally going to beat the Liberty Flames, but Liberty dropped 40 on Western. I scored 42-29, so the Flames remain undefeated. And, well, what can we say? The weather's been on and off today. Lots of rain before the game. There's been some showers during the game. And like I'd mentioned, there's pretty much no positives to take away from the first half of football except for maybe Chase Gabriel's 50-yard field goal, which was admittedly pretty awesome. But beyond that, that's about it. Jacksonville State has dominated the offense. They've dominated the defense. They've had the ball. It's surprisingly been even on the time of possession. And I think the reason for that is all of Jacksonville State's touchdown drives were like instant. They were like 6 plays, 5 plays, 9 plays. Instant. They only took like 2 minutes off the clock of each. But the running game is killing the Panthers. And their front and FIU's front seven cannot stop Jacksonville State's running game. We were wondering if their starting quarterback, being Zion Webb, Zion Webb was going to play or not, along with their leading rusher, Malik Jackson. They both are playing. FIU also has some injuries on their side of the ball, but I'm not going to make any excuses here. This has been a butt whipping so far. Is there a possibility that the Panthers can come back and dominate the second half? I suppose there is, but I wouldn't bet on it, unfortunately. So it's worth noting FIU, I believe, gets the week off, and then they'll take on Middle Tennessee. So Kevin Burrell mentioned it in the preview. This was the same situation FIU was in last year. They were 4-4, 4 games to go, and they ended up going winless. It's not going to be a good start to see if they're going to repeat that or not. So I'll leave it at that. Once again, this has been the Paws Up halftime report. Your score: Jacksonville State 24, FIU 3. Halftime will begin in about 4 minutes. Thank you all that's been watching and listening to all of our content today. We'll catch you guys at the end of the game for the post-game show. That'll be after we talk to the head coach and some players in media interviews. But until then, Paws Up.